This is previously Mike Zim thoughts on Stephon Gilmore going to the Cowboys and working with also Trayvon Diggs. This is his thoughts on it.
Stephon Gilmore going from the Colts to the Cowboys to partner up now with Trayvon Diggs, who's been one of the more exciting players, I think, both ways in the NFL since he hit the bricks.
Well, the thing is, I worked out Gilmore, or I went to the workout when he come out of South Carolina. I loved him. He's long, good in and out of breaks. He's been to, I think, 3 times All Pro or something like that. So I liked him a lot anyway. And he's got great acceleration. He's a tough, competitive guy, very good again in the press. And then you look at Diggs, and Diggs has probably the best hands of any corner out there. He catches everything. That's why he gets a lot of interceptions. I know that he doesn't play with his technique is hit and miss sometimes. He's a little bit of a riverboat gambler. And again, I do think he's good in the press when he wants to get up there and press. Sometimes he lines up 5 yards off and kind of side shuffles, and he'll get beat on some double moves. So I do think if he would get a little bit more discipline in his techniques and things like that, he may not have as many interceptions, but he'd deny a lot more players from getting the ball, and he would give up less plays.
Man, I like that balanced approach to his acknowledgement of Trayvon Diggs and how he can also now work with that, So that's good. That's always thinking down the line. We all like Trayvon Diggs, but can he get better? Yeah. And coaches like Mike Zim is going to excel on that or even improve on that. And I do like his assessment on Stephon Gilmore. If the Cowboys do decide to bring him back, that will be a nice thing for us. But I like the idea of Mike Zim coming into the picture to teach these guys the small things, the little techniques to get this team in the right direction. Also, I want to include Steve Wilks. I think that a lot of people is looking at Steve Wilks as a guy that the Cowboys should approach. The Cowboys should go out there and grab. With Steve Wilks, you can see points average per game. It was 18.9 with Steve Wilks was 17.5. Opponent's yards per game was 305, and then with Steve Wilks it was 303. Takeaways 1.5 with DeMeco Ryans, and it turns out that it was 1.7 with Steve Wilks. I think that Steve Wilks is a guy that, as a defensive coordinator, would be a great pickup for the Cowboys to insert maybe as a secondary coach, something like that, or a guy that can help out in the secondary in general. He got defensive background in his resume or on his resume. I think that would be a great pickup for the Cowboys to at least bring him in. I think that this guy, he's a scapegoat. I get it. A lot of people were angry and upset at the way the 49ers lost. I heard 49er fans talking about the fact that, hey, this dude sucks on stopping the run. But, man, that wasn't his fault. He only had a year with these guys. Let me repeat, he only had a year with these guys. So the Cowboys, man, pick up the phone. I wonder when Mike Zim's phone went off. Was it Steve Wilks said, hey, man, pick me up, man. I got some secrets I can tell you, But he had the shortest rope out of anybody in the National Football League. He only had a short stay with Arizona Cardinals for 1 year. He had an interim stay, I believe, with the Panthers. It wasn't really a long stay. And now he have an extreme short stay with the 49ers, whereas everybody, mama, uncle, cousin was talking about, hey, man, the 49ers defense is a real thing. Pick up the phone, man, and call Steve Wilks, man. Let's see what he can bring to the table. I like the way Emmanuel Archo broke it down, too.
Kyle Shanahan got me heated. Come here, fam. Shanahan, you wasted a season. You hired a defensive coordinator in Steve Wilks who you never believed in the first place. Go back to the Minnesota Vikings game in the middle of the season, early in the season. Steve Wilks runs an all-out blitz. Shanahan, he berates him at the end of the game in the post-game press conference. But in 2017, when Wilks was a coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, the defensive coordinator, and they had a top-flight defense, he blitzed 47% of the time. So blitzing is what Steve Wilks does. If you didn't want Wilks to blitz, why'd you hire him? Then Super Bowl, biggest stage, everybody watching in the biggest moment. You call a timeout to question Steve Wilks. You never believed in the dude in the first place. Now you're going to fire him. Now your Niners defensive players are going on their 4th defensive coordinator in 5 seasons. Saleh, D'Amico, Wilks, question mark. Shanahan, you got to know what you're doing before you do it. You can't just be hiring dudes all willy-nilly when you got all pros all over the defense. You're wasting their careers. Hire somebody that you believe in.
No doubt, man. I agree with Acho. Just have a staff that you believe in, man. I'm not a Niners fan. I'm glad that they lost, by the way. I'm glad. But neither here nor there. I would say this. Steve Wilks, man, he deserves another chance, another shot at this. And it should be a situation that, hey, pick up the phone. Let's see how this all rock and roll from here. Let's go. Hey, scapegoat or whatever you want to put around it. Bring Steve Wilks in here, man. Yes, indeed. I know he can help this defense out. And on top of that, I still remember week 5 from last year. So I want some of that type of mindset on defense. And not to say that Mike Zim should just say, hey, let me let this dude do it. But, hey, the more the merrier with this. He can absolutely help. He can't hurt at this point. And I'm talking about Mike Zim plus Steve Wilks plus whoever else they bring on aboard. Cowboy Nation, post me your thoughts, post me your concerns down below. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. Let's get it, baby.